this is a call to arms for global players. Stop supporting Bandai and buying tickets, buying the challenge battle passes. If you really need to get your fix, buy the $1 challenge battle pass. Do what you gotta do. But I encourage you, fight your addictions. We need to stop feeding the money for putting in little to no effort into making this game fun. I know it's hard, and I guess supporting the game is a good way of keeping it up, but just try it. Hey guys, Outlaster here. Been a while, but I just want to make a quick video just going on a rant about the current state of the game. I'm going to try not to sound like a spoiled brat and just kind of beat the dead horse that a lot of other people have been talking about, but it'll be hard to avoid those because, there is one huge glaring issue right now, and I'll have to address them for at least part of this video, but I just want to talk about my experience over the past couple years playing this game and where I think it could go or where it couldn't go. Now, I've been playing, as you know, if you watched my most popular video, I've been playing for about 5.5 years. I mean, I was on this game before even Shanks and Blackbeard came out, and it's been a wild ride. There have been units that come out where I think, oh, okay, this is it for sure. There's no way they can do something more than this, and then they always do. So, it's like, if you've seen the political meme going around, like, fell for it again, that's kind of like me. But I think this time, there's something a little more serious about it. And a lot of my Lions members are starting to feel the same way. I wish I knew what JP players thought because, again, we are on the global version of the game. So naturally, we are getting a bit of a lesser experience than the JP players. But I can't imagine they're even enjoying this very much. EX Kizaru has just come out, and the power scaling in this game has gotten ridiculous. Now, I like characters that feel powerful. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I think, Kizaru in the anime was ridiculous. How could anyone pre-timeskip even compete with Kizaru in the Egghead arc? So, I understand why they designed some of his abilities the way they did, but it's the traits where I don't understand the level of negligence that Bandai is displaying now. I play a lot of competitive team-based games. It's kind of my thing. Even before this game, I was playing Team Fortress 2. So I know a thing or two about these kind of games. And you know what they do that Bandai doesn't? Nerfs, balances, and anything like that. But Bandai, they have a stick up their butt so large that no matter what characters they release, as long as they play test it in their private servers and release their silly little trailer, they're going to drop the character and nothing will get touched. There has not been a nerf since the history of Bounty Rush's conception, and I've come to accept that, but it's gotten too far now with Kizaru. You see, this character, he can't be hit by traditional skills if he has full HP, and he can teleport, has multi hit, can change color basically by doing anything, and the problem is that even if you have characters who can heal on multi-hit, he still has really high damage, like single-hit skills. Like the one where he just slides his sword. I mean, I've gotten one-shot by that by, EX Lucci, who has an insane amount of damage reduction. So I don't even know what's happening anymore. And, it just feels like you're losing a part of yourself. And I don't know how they're going to get themselves out of this hole. Now, again, I'm the fell for it again guy, usually. But it just doesn't make sense. And what I wish they would do, I've been praying for this for so long, is that release a separate league for Bounty Fest only and step-ups. They experiment with this in Challenge Battle by doing the Incursion of Legends. I'm not sure if you've ever played that, but it's really fun when it comes out, and I have a blast on it. But it's just Challenge Battle, and usually they'll just release Counter Battle for the 80th time the next week. So, that sucks. So League has been the primary game mode for this entire game's duration. It's not working anymore. The maps are too small. The gameplay you're seeing now, you're probably playing on these today. But you have characters who teleport across the map, hit everywhere, don't take damage. It's you have to be very up to date with the units to even touch this game. And I get their idea philosophy, right? We are going to make characters that just complete up the ante every single time so that people will buy our tickets so they can continue to enjoy the game. Yeah, it's a little bit evil, but I understand the marketing strategy. And it works to a certain degree, but what they don't understand is that a large amount of this player base is free to play, or they only spend money to build their account. And to build your account, you actually have to enjoy the game. Now, most people who play this game, they're just gonna do a reroll account, try to get Kizaru. If they don't get it, they'll abandon the account and they'll play with 100 or 20% support even. But if you nurture the game, if you balance it, if you make gameplay fun and accessible for multiple players, those guys teetering on the edge of spending their first dollar, might want to buy a bounty pass. They want to buy the challenge battle pass. There's $1 to Bandai every 2 weeks. You get all sorts of frags, nice resources, and it feels good building your account. But that feeling is gone because all the units either ignore defense, ignore damage reduction, ignore obstacles, ignore this and that. And building your account, that long-term investment that a lot of veteran players have, is just not that valuable anymore. And I understand why, because there were golden ages in this game, and I wish to God that the newer players could experience them. I would consider what's on screen a golden age. I look how many different characters are in this lobby. I mean, you can have diverse characters, but again, they do too much. There's too much happening on the screen. Traits are just a complete, Harry Potter book at this point, and it's a mess. And Bandai won't do the right things. I mean, balance changes. Get off your high horse and nerf, or do more buffs. I understand they're hard to implement. I have no idea what a game developer standpoint is like. But imagine being a programmer for Bandai, and you work your butt off making a Bounty Fest character. You get new animations, you have to build their skeleton and give them all sorts of skills and traits, and then your boss comes and says, well, we're going to design a character that completely destroys the last one, and players only got to enjoy it for about a month. You probably worked tens of, maybe even 50 hours plus programming this character, and now there's nothing. The people aren't going to use it. When was the last time you guys have even seen any of these units on screen? There's over 300 playable units in this game. It's not like I expect all of them to be playable, but I just feel bad for the hard work that people at Bandai put into making all these intricate One Piece characters and give them a really good representation in this game, just for the greedy higher-ups who want to sell more tickets to completely disregard all their work. It's terrible, and I don't know what they're going to do in the future. I feel like the game is dying. Nobody likes Kizaru. There's only hate going around on Twitter and on YouTube. All the live streams aren't even getting hearts or thumbs up anymore. People are just saying this game sucks. Hackers are still a thing. Kizaru is absolute cancer. And I'm just worried. I put a lot of time and money into this game. I don't want to see it die. It'd be like losing a part of myself. And I love the account building aspect of this game. It's so cool. You have medals, you have support lineups that can just play, help you customize your own playstyle. Every account can be unique. But what's happening is that, you ever seen the iRobot, or I think that's the name of it, when Will Smith goes into the factory and there's just rows and rows and rows of people, or humanoid robots that are just the same. That's what League is like. It's 4 Kizarus, and, there's no identity to this anymore. There's no point building a defense or Zoan support because, you know what, the next CX will probably just ignore it. And I really think they've lost that key aspect of the game that got the whales that, fund pretty much Bandai to keep their lights on to this day. You're not getting any new whales, I'm going to be honest. The people who are at the top of this game right now have been playing for almost as long as me, and it's because, the game was just better. I couldn't imagine being a new player right now and being like, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to play this for more than a week. So they really got to do something. We're on an 8-hour maintenance right now, and I hope they start making better choices. Now, I'm not going to completely say that everything they've done is stupid. I mean, the rookie challenges they came out with that gave you a lot of RD and resources and stuff that, build your account. They're really generous with banners now for old characters. You can get all sorts of things max, and that was a huge problem in the Golden Era where it was really hard to max a character, really hard to get support. But, They changed that at least. But again, it's the gameplay. That's the core aspect of a video game, the gameplay. That is unbearable right now. And I just hope they do better. If we start not supporting it, stop buying the EX tickets when they come out. Even, like, if you don't get the character through natural summons, I'm sorry, but just work on it. I can't remember the last time I've even played the most powerful unit. Maybe EX Lucci, but I've managed to do my dailies, keep up my account, keep building it. I've managed. All right. You don't have to buy the Kizaru ticket. You don't have to buy whatever next EX comes out. Try your luck, and if you don't get it, just accept it and move on. All right. And once Bandai starts making better choices for the game that make it healthier and more fun to play, then support them. I have no problem supporting a game that's free to play. In fact, I think you should if you actually enjoy it. But I think a lot of the player base is Stockholm Syndrome right now. And they just are buying and buying and buying because that's all they've ever done. Stop buying. The whales out there, please, I beg you. I've stopped. I used to be terrible. I bought EX Luffy, that blue one, when he came out, and there wasn't even a guarantee. I spent $300 in one night once. All right, I understand where you're at, but if you want the game to be better, we have to stop supporting it monetarily. All right, it can't work anymore. It can't work anymore, and I hope this video helps you understand if you're on the fence. All right, thank you.